Hello and welcome to the 18 WJTS News for this Friday, October 24, 2025. Thank you so much for choosing us for your local news coverage this evening. I'm Kaitlyn Neukam reporting. DuBois County residents can safely dispose of expired, unused, and unwanted prescription medications during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day this Saturday, October 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Jasper State Police Post, District 34, located at 2209 Newton Street. For added convenience, residents also have a 24/7 drop-off option at the Jasper Police Station at 309 East 6th Street. Participants should note that sharps, including auto-injectors, needles, infusion sets, blades, glass, lancets, and connection needle sets, and liquids will not be accepted. The event is open to only private citizens and is not intended for businesses or health facilities. We are officially 1 week away from Halloween, and communities all around are preparing their scares and sweet treats for the occasion. Oakland City will kick off the Halloween fun with a trunk or treat at Worth Park on Saturday, October 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. Families are invited to enjoy an evening filled with candy, costumes, and community fun. In Jasper, children ages 12 and under are invited to Halloween at Central Green on Sunday, October 26th from 6 to 7 p.m. hosted by Jasper Park and Recreation. In case of rain, the event will move to the Parklands Pavilion. Then on Thursday, October 30th, the spooky season continues with two major events. The streets of downtown Jasper will transform into a safe and friendly treat trail from 5 to 7 p.m. More than 20 downtown merchants will hand out treats both inside and outside their stores for an evening full of magic, madness, and memories. Families are encouraged to attend with adult supervision to keep things safe. Also on Thursday, October 30th, Celestine will host Halloween in Celestine from 6 to 8 p.m. Trick-or-treating will take place in Celestine with additional event details to be announced soon. The Lagodi Fall Festival and citywide trick-or-treat will be held on Friday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. with a rain date of November 1st. Families can stop by the pavilion for candy stations, a costume contest, hay rides, and music by Carson Birch with KB DJ and entertainment. The evening wraps up with a Halloween dance from 8 to 10 p.m. In Huntingburg, trick-or-treating will also take place on Friday, October 31st from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Residents welcoming trick-or-treaters are asked to leave their porch lights on. The town of Shoals will host its annual trick-or-treat night on Friday, October 31st from 6 to 9 p.m. with a rain date of Saturday, November 1st during the same hours. And finally, Jasper's citywide trick-or-treating will conclude the area's Halloween festivities on Friday, October 31st from 6 to 8 p.m. Local officials remind families to stay alert, watch for pedestrians, and make safety a top priority during all Halloween celebrations this year. Earlier this week, the Mid-States Corridor Project held its October 2025 public information meeting at Jasper Middle School, where community members were invited to learn about the draft screenings of alternatives report and the proposed route options for the Tier 2 study of the Mid-States Corridor, a study conducted by the Lockmuller Group based out of Evansville, Indiana, and initiated by the Indiana Department of Transportation. Attendees were presented with a 13-minute-long presentation providing updates and findings in the Tier 2 study, and were also invited post-presentation to speak with project representatives on any questions or comments that they may have had. We now present this program to you.
Thank you for your interest in the Mid-States Corridor Project. We're glad to share this important progress update on the Tier 2 study of Section 2 in DuBois County. The Mid-States Project team is led by Kiana Wheeler, Project Manager for the Indiana Department of Transportation, Matt Bullock, Deputy Project Manager with INDOT, and Jason DuPont, Lockmuller Group Project Manager. This presentation will share an overview of the Screening of Alternatives report and share an update on the project schedule and next steps. The report evaluates highway facility types and alignment alternatives for Section 2 of the Mid-States Corridor Project. It builds on Tier 1 decisions and incorporates updated data, stakeholder input, and engineering assessments. The primary goal is to identify alternatives that meet project needs while minimizing environmental and community impacts. The report sets the stage for public and agency review to ensure transparency and collaboration. The key objectives of the report include the identification of a preferred highway type based on performance on project goals, comprehensive evaluation of the preliminary alternatives with varied alignments and access plans, screening the alternatives using performance indices, cost and environmental impact assessments. The most feasible alternatives were selected for detailed study in the draft environmental document. The report identified an expressway as the preferred highway type or facility based on project goal performance like regional connectivity and multimodal access improvements. The comparable representative alternatives with the same alignments and access plans were evaluated. The selection of an expressway design eliminated 6 of the preliminary alternatives. Here are the advantages of an expressway. The expressway offers travel time savings, better safety, and enhanced freight efficiency compared to the Super 2. The expressway also allows for higher speed limits suitable to regional transportation demands and grade-separated intersections where appropriate. The Super 2 highway failed to meet performance criteria, scoring below the required travel time and labor force access thresholds and the overall performance index. Let's look at the screening process, or how we compared the alternatives. In April, we shared 12 draft preliminary alternatives, including multiple alignments, access plans, and highway types. The Screening of Alternatives report outlines how we narrowed it down to 2 alternatives. The report gives a detailed look at how each alternative was measured for performance, and you're encouraged to review it. What is an alternative? An alternative is a combination of 3 things: alignment, access options, and highway type. As mentioned, an expressway was selected for the highway type. Alignment and access will continue to be refined as a preferred alternative is selected. Please take time to review the map displays in the open house area or on the public information meeting page on the project website. Alternatives 2B and 3B will be carried forward for additional study. It's important to understand these are still early concepts. They will change as input is received and information is gathered. Variations at 6 locations for both 2B and 3B are still being considered. Here's how the alternatives were chosen. We looked at core goals like business and labor market access, truck hour savings, and connectivity to measure performance. Alternative 3B scored highest, showing optimal alignment with project goals. Alternatives 2B and 3B demonstrated strong potential to enhance transportation benefits and regional growth. Alternative 2B is the most cost-effective option. Alternative 3B, though slightly costlier, offers superior performance. All construction costs include a 20% contingency to cover unexpected expenses and risks. Costs are affected by bridge lengths, earthwork needs, and access configurations in each alternative. Assessment also focused on wetlands, streams, floodplains, and agricultural lands to understand environmental effects. Alternative 3B minimizes residential relocations. Alternative 2B reduces impacts on archaeological and managed lands. Alternatives 2B and 3B balance infrastructure needs with environmental stewardship and regulatory compliance. The screening report identified 6 locations where variations are being considered for both 2B and 3B. Variations include access connections, intersection configurations, alignment adjustments, and enhanced local access improvements. Refinements aim to reduce impacts, protect resources, and optimize design with public and agency input. These are areas that need more analysis before a preferred design can be determined. Before we get started, let's talk about the maps. Alternative 2B is shown in orange. Alternative 3B is fuchsia. The variation is in green. Let's start at the north and look at the location of our first variation. Just south of the bridge, we are looking at 2 ways of connecting US 231 north of Hayesville to the new road. Alternatives 2B and 3B use the same connection, while the variation offers an alternate option. Now we head south from Hayesville down to County Road 600 North, where we reach Variation 2. Alternative 2B and 3B have a slight variation in alignment at 600 North and 231, but they both use a roundabout east of the Mid-States Highway for access. The variation instead uses a series of new connecting roads to provide access. Heading south again, you can see the alignment of 2B and 3B overlap and separate at times before reaching State Road 164. That brings us to Variation 3. This is our only alignment variation. Between State Road 164 and State Road 162, we show alternatives 2B and 3B, plus a west and an east variation. These four will be studied further before an alignment is determined. At Variation 4, which includes Schnellville Road and State Road 162, 2B and 3B are on different alignments. Here, we're showing four different options. All four would realign Schnellville to the south. 2B and 3B both use a connecting road north of the realigned road. The variations use a connection south of realigned Schnellville. Heading south, approaching Huntingburg, we reach Variation 5. This option considers how to provide access to Phoenix Drive, County Road 400 South, County Road 130 West, and County Road 375 South. Various connectivity options will be considered for these local roads. Alternatives 2B and 3B would create a new road to connect to US 231, while the variation does not. From there, the alternatives share the same path east of Huntingburg. Just north of the airport, the alignments jog west, split, and cross near existing US 231 before coming back together at the southern end of the project. That brings us to our sixth and last variation. At County Road 1100, two very different options are being considered. Alternative 2B and 3B would allow access to the new highway from County Road 1100. The variation would not give access to the new road. Instead, connections would be made from existing US 231 to local roads. Intersection designs are still being developed, but here's what has already been determined. Interchanges were ruled out due to impacts and cost. Creating free flow traffic on the Mid-States corridor is a goal. For that reason, there will be no traffic signals or stop controls on the mainline traffic. Here's one of the primary designs we are considering. A reduced conflict intersection, or RCI, is an alternative to traditional roadway intersections on a four-lane highway. Instead of motorists crossing four fast-moving lanes of traffic, drivers at an RCI turn right in the same direction of traffic, quickly merge into the left lane, and then make a U-turn in the direction they intend to travel. Using RCIs can take the same or less time than trying to wait for a safe and appropriate gap to cross traffic. RCIs are also designed to fully accommodate the wide turning radius of tractor-trailer trucks and other large vehicles, such as school buses. Another potential design is a quadrant road intersection, shown here paired with an RCI. The quadrant road operates like a partial interchange. Either the side street or the Mid-States main line would be elevated over the other roadway. A connector road would be used for entering and exiting the Mid-States corridor. Here's how well RCIs perform. In Indiana, RCIs have reduced fatal and injury crashes by an average of 85%. They reduce property damage crashes by an average of 58%, and reduce crashes of any severity by an average of 68%. If you're interested in learning more about the safety benefits of RCIs, visit our project website. We also have links to videos to demonstrate how RCIs accommodate large vehicles and animations that explain how to drive an RCI. Here's a reminder of goals used to measure performance. The three primary purposes are improve regional connectivity in Du Bois County and southern Indiana, improve highway connections to existing multimodal locations from southern Indiana, complete Section 2 of the Mid-States Corridor project between I-64 at Dale and State Road 56 at Hayesville. There are also 3 secondary purposes: improve traffic safety, improve traffic operations, and support economic development in southern Indiana. Tier 2 won't study upgrading US 231 as an alternative. That decision was made in Tier 1 when it was eliminated based on cost and performance. The no-build alternative is used as a comparison tool in Tier 2. It serves as a baseline for comparing alternatives. The no-build option as an alternative was eliminated in Tier 1. Feedback from this checkpoint will be combined with traffic studies, environmental analysis, and other data to refine the alternatives. A preferred alternative will be identified in the draft environmental document. NDOT will begin purchasing right-of-way in select locations at that time. Once the final environmental document is approved, construction in Section 2 will begin in 2027. There are a number of ways to give feedback now and throughout the study. Complete a comment form and leave it with the project team, or fill out a comment form online on the project website. You can also stop by or call the project office. Another option is to leave a recorded message with NDOT for you. Please have your comments submitted by the close of the comment period on November 5th, 2025. Thank you for watching this presentation and for your interest in the Mid-States Corridor project.
All public information meeting materials that were presented on Wednesday evening are now available on the Mid-State Corridor Project website, which you can find at midstatescorridor.com. On the Mid-States Corridor website, you can also find the contact information for the team and an online comment form for submitting questions or comments about the project or presentation to the team. This draft screenings of alternatives report is being provided for input from the public, elected officials, agencies, and other stakeholders. The deadline to submit questions or comment forms is November 5th, 2025. And that has been your Friday news right here on 18 WJTS. Next up is your weather forecast.